No, Todd, not now.
Uh-oh. Who could it be? Hello, welcome back to the Parc Fermé for podcast number 729. This happens to be Todd.
No, Todd, not now.
AKA Negative Camber. You know why I've asked you here.
You must convince the villagers that I'm harmless.
That's exactly what I need you to do. Tonight, for your kind consideration on podcast 729, we're going to talk about Formula One news and all other kinds of happenings. You know what we do on off-race weekends. That's what we talk about. But before talking about that, of course, I have to introduce my guest tonight, which of course means, yep, that's right. I got to go all the way to the right coast of America, nestled in our nation's capital, where she applies her skills as a master statistician and just an all-around brilliant person. You know her. It's the lovely, the redoubtable Grace. How you doing?
Doing pretty good, Todd. How are you doing?
You know,
funny you should ask.
Can I be honest? I can be honest with you. Can I? Yeah, I'm not doing that great.
Oh, we've been doing this show for like 8,000 years together.
I know. Yeah, I can be honest with you. I feel like you're a person I could share this with. Yeah. Actually, it's a bit of a disclaimer and an upfront apology for all of our listeners. I'm not doing that great this evening. I had to have like ASAP surgery. For those of you looking on YouTube, you can see the right arm there and a splint, and I can't move my right arm. So somehow I was lifting up the right corner of a Formula One car. That's what I'm telling people.
I was attacked by a mountain lion. Yeah.
I was attacked by a fully grown grizzly bear, and defending myself, I managed to kill it with a Bowie knife. But in the process, I somehow pulled my bicep tendon off my elbow. Yeah. And, it was one of those things, it'll get better. So I go finally to the doctor, and the doctor sends me an orthopedic specialist and ultrasound, all this stuff. I get to the orthopedic guy. He looks at us and says, yeah, that needs to be operated like now. You don't wait for those. And I was kind of like, well, hello, sir. It took me a month to get in to see you, So there you go. Right. So anyway, last Monday, a week ago, I had to go in for surgery. So then they give me painkillers. They prescribed painkillers before I even went to surgery because they knew that's how bad it was going to be. And they were right. So I'm on painkillers doing that. Now, here's the other problem. If the show sounds a little disjointed tonight, folks, you'll notice on the website, I haven't posted anything this week. And if the show seems disjointed tonight, that's because the notes are really wonky. Because look, I can't type anything. So I'm completely cut and paste guy. So tonight, in order to bring you, even under all of this duress that I'm under, in order to bring you a show and not miss a podcast episode, I'm going tonight to start talking about news reports in the news, and I'm going to read because I had to do a lot of cut and pasting, and so I can do that with my left. By the way, I'm right-handed. It's my right elbow. I cannot do squat with my left hand. Nothing. It's shocking to me I can play guitar. So, it ain't nothing. I can't do anything. So anyway, I could manage to work the mouse to highlight, cut and paste. So if I reference Autosport a lot, if I reference Motorsport a lot, that's because these fine institutions are where I'm getting these news stories. So just up front, guys, I completely apologize. And I know everyone's sitting at home thinking, oh man, this show's...
It's a shit box.
Yeah, I hear you. I know. Was that low volume? Sorry.
It's a shit box.
There you go. Yeah. So, and I know what you're thinking. So apologies. And the other half of you are kind of like, get to the show.
This is the show.
I know, but this is my disclaimer.
All right. So 2 comments. First comment, I think you should have gotten your offspring to help you because...
Oh, that would have been good.
Damn it. You helped bring her into the world. The least you can do is type for you, right? Yeah,
she could have done that. That's a brilliant idea.
Thank you.
If I still can't type by next week, I think I'll do that.
I don't know. My parents would make me do that. You over there. I don't know which one you are. Get over here. Type these notes for me. I will dictate.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
2. So I don't know if you've been watching Winter Soldier and Bucky. I refer to it as Sam and Bucky go. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I refer to it as Sam and Bucky go backpacking together because it's literally, I think, what most of the show is just the two of them, like, backpacking across Europe. But anyway, so the guy who, oh God, this is terrible, right? So the actor who played Niki Lauda, right, is in Winter Soldier because he plays the bad guy whose name
The shit box.
That guy.
So anyway, so they keep doing. Oh man, and Flip
Was
is
it
downstairs.
Daniel something?
Yeah, Brule isn't it?
Yeah, yes, Brule. Yeah.
And anyway, Flip would be yelling from down the hallway if he could hear me. Anyway, so it's like everybody at home is doing. Anyway, I feel like every interview they need to end. I just want somebody to go, listen, I know, Daniel, this is a weird request, but I'm a really big motorsports fan. And could you just, for the fans at home, say it's a shit box like Niki Lauda just one more time? Like, I'd love for somebody to do that. I would find that hilarious, clearly.
That's interesting. Sorry.
Okay. I don't know.
It's the painkillers. I was trying to think of a witty retort and I don't have one.
It's all right. I have like a whole, I have many issues with that show. Like, that fanny packs come with zippers. That was they do. It was a major plot hole that they, because I don't know that you're watching it, but anyway.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
But I do like you. When we watch those, my daughters like Bucky a lot.
Yeah, I know that's the thing.
Yeah.
But apparently Sebastian Stan is super boring, which I thought was really funny too.
Well, so am I. That's cool.
There you go. So, and maybe he would do some typing for you as well. But anyway, I thought that.
Well, he's got that metal arm.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. See? So you wouldn't have any problem. That's what you need. You need the Winter Soldier
we have
arm.
something in common. I need the Winter Soldier arm so then I could tag real fast.
Some vibranium in you. Yeah, right? Then you could just like, shh, done.
Done.
Notes. And then maybe Paul would read them, right?
Yeah. No, he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't.
Yeah, why can't it? Oh, that's just really going to drive me nuts. I keep thinking Ronan. That's totally the wrong bad guy. Oh, my goodness.
Ronan.
This is the story of my life. It's not like we just.
You're going to have to Google it.
I am. And then I also, my other commentary is that, and this is because then now other people hear it as well. The actress who plays Sam's sister sounds like Michelle Obama. So that was also my running commentary during the show as well. Like, well, your sister's Michelle Obama, so maybe you should do something about it. It totally sounds like her. Anyway. So
yeah, so that's my disclaimer for this evening, guys. I apologize up front. I'm going to try to make sure that I'm not that low energy and talk about some interesting stuff. But hey, just a quick reminder. I've said this before, but just a quick note for those of you who listen but weren't aware that we also upload these podcasts to our YouTube channel, so you can actually see two talking heads, one of them with a arm that's damaged, and you can watch two talking heads talk about the sport they love. So there you go. Zemo. That's his character's name. Helmut Zemo. That was driving me nuts too. I was like, oh, it's right there. That brings back Zoran GP. It could be Zemo GP. I do believe so. When Flip and I go for our walks around the neighborhood, because what else can we do these days is that, I often will lead them down the trail of like this team begat this team, begat this team, begat this team, which I can't believe somebody hasn't turned into like a wall poster at this point, right? Yeah, right. Like the evolution of man, Yeah, except exactly. You've got the evolution of Brabham, Right. Yeah. And so then I give them the whole like, no, Brackley-based team. See, this is why they all refer to them by like where the headquarters are located. Brackley. Right. Because they're all some other team that begat some other team. Yeah. Right. And so it was just like, but Zoran GP came up because we were talking about Peter Windsor. Yeah. And I couldn't remember what I used to call his team either. So, because it was USGP F1E. I just remember XYZ. Like, I just remember making that name really long. Yeah. His team. And then Zoran GP was who bought the nose cone. Yes, it was Zoran GP. Yeah. But we never knew who got the toaster. We don't know. And the Jim Clark photo, right? Well, that's a given. I'm going to assume Peter took that home. I mean, he's like, all right, sue me, but this asset is going home with me. Yes. So it was, USGP F1 XYZ. I think maybe that was it. USGP F1. I think so too. Yeah. Or USF1. Yeah. And then I think he made it like, added something else to it. And then I added XYZ to the end of it because I just kept making it longer. But nonetheless. Apologies, Peter. I can't believe I forgot the name of your failed team, but.
And then, right, but that's how we begat the conversation about Zorn GP, because that was a missed opportunity, because that is not what he was going to name his fake team. That never really happened. But if your name is Zorn, why isn't that what you would go with?
No, he was going to name it his other name, and now that escapes me too. Yeah, his first name. Yeah, and then we were like, no, because it should be Zoran GP, because the James Bond movie with the Zoran blimp, and he could fly into the Grand Prix in a Zoran blimp.
Exactly, and then McLaughlin from the McLaren scandal ended up at Zorn GP, right? So it was just like, it was this whole thing.
Boy, that guy turned into like, a leper at that point, right?
Yeah,
I mean, nobody wanted him, and Zorn GP picked him up, right?
Yeah, so it was just like, you always like wear Patty logos, like all these sort of
Yeah. There's like little rabbit trails of collateral, a wake of collateral damage where some of these guys go.
I'd like to point out, I don't know who put this on Twitter, but somebody put on Twitter that there are people who know, who won the Spanish Grand Prix in 1976.
Yeah, for sure.
And then there are those of us that know the names of Albon's cats. I'm the person that knows the name of Albon cats. I have no idea who won the Spanish Grand Prix in 1976. So I'm like, the fact that I ever remember any of this kind of stuff is always kind of miraculous. Well, thanks, Ziggy. Look.
Hey, look. Hey, Zig.
Look, that's you. How exciting.
He's like, who the hell's that cat?
So anyway, I'm definitely Albon's cats, I know. But
I would love to know this too from our listeners out there. I agree with you. I am always in awe and have complete respect for Formula One fans that can remember that stuff. Now, some of them out there have spreadsheets, and they log it all, and they know it, and they could easily look it up. But there's a lot of you out there that don't need a spreadsheet to look it up, don't need to Google it. If I ask them who won, well, it's not good to ask who won in the last 9 years. It could be Lewis Hamilton. You've got an 90% chance. But if I ask like who won the such and such Grand Prix in 2016, and they know that, and
I have to do math backwards to figure out who the president was.
They'll do certain incidents like that have happened. Oh, you remember when that time, like the famous where the Red Bull where both front wheels fell off at the same time?
Oh, yeah.
Couldn't tell you when that was, what race that was, or what track that was. I remember it happening, but I'm one of those people that I consume and enjoy Formula One as it's happening and when it's happening, but I don't write any of it to memory per se, not in mass. Like the bigger things I definitely do, but like just an average race, like the first two races this season, Lewis won the first, Max second, kind of remember a few things, but you catch me 2 years from now and I won't remember a lot of the details. So I'm curious if you're one of those people that love Formula One, you enjoy it, consume it in real time, and then you move on, or is there like a file cabinet that you have everything documented in your brain about what happened when? And I'm just at awe at those people.
And Flip has that with football. And, I'm a Steelers fan. He's a Ravens fan.
Yeah,
sometimes he makes the argument for me. Like, I'm like, your team sucks because of X, Y, Z. And he'll be like, actually, you should have said this. I'm like, damn it. I don't know.
How am I supposed to know that?
I don't know.
It's crazy. Anyway.
We ate dinner tonight. That's what matters, right?
Yeah. Did you feed the cats? Yeah, I think you did. Yeah.
Yeah, because surely they won't let me forget.
Yeah, right. Oh, my. All right, let's talk about some Formula One news here. First up, ladies and gentlemen, directly fresh off the cut and paste in my notes from Autosport. This F1 approved sprint races plan at 3 rounds in 2021. Now, here's the comment, quote, "We're excited by this new opportunity that will bring our fans an even more engaging race weekend in 2021. Seeing the drivers battle it out over 3 days will be an amazing experience." This is Stefano, or as Grace would call him, Stefano. "I am sure the drivers will relish the fight. I am delighted that all the teams supported this plan, and it's a testament to our united efforts to continue to engage our fans in new ways while ensuring we remain committed to the heritage and meritocracy of our sport."
I love that.
Now, I'm reading this from Autosport. they say for now, F1 has not confirmed where the sprint races will be, merely stating that there will be 2 in Europe, 1 at a flyaway event. However, and I wish I would have wrote and given credit to the author. It may have been Jonathan Noble. Anyway, however, it is understood that the first 2 sprint trials will take place at Silverstone and Monza. A final decision on the flyaway, which has long been expected to be Brazil, will be taken nearer the time. So Grace, sprint races, 3 of them. Talk us through it.
Okay, so first I had to take notes. I had to take screen captures because, they start out explaining it and you're like, okay, so we're going to qualify on Friday, then we're going to qualify again on Saturday, then we're going to race on Sunday. Okay, and somewhere in here we're fitting in 2 free practices. Then they started with wow, and they're only going to have soft tires I'm like, now I got to take notes. Like, this just became exponentially more complicated than what I was prepared for.
This is Formula One. They're always going to over-engineer it and make a Rube Goldberg device out of everything they do.
You're right. So first of all, what happened to we're cutting costs? How is this at all helping anybody with their cost cutting?
I'm assuming they're going to give a concession to the 3-engine rule because you're putting more mileage.
I guess something.
Yeah.
And they're allowed to fix their brakes and their suspension. That was like an exception to the Parc Fermé rule. So anyway, so they're going to have practice 1 on Friday and then qualifying for the sprint race. Sprint race is on, when is the other qualifying? Then they have practice 2. Then they will have sprint qualifying and then the Grand Prix on Sunday. But the sprint race just sounds like a day-long red flag, right? Like, so we have the sprint race, which is like a little less than half of a regular race. We all stop our cars, we get some orange slices, we hang out because we can't really do anything, and then we race again on Sunday, like the rest of the race.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the sprint race gets us because it's Formula One. There's still, there's not a lot of passing in Formula One. I feel like we talk about this all the time, right? It's chess, not checkers. I would take one great Formula One pass to like a million other passes. Watch some other sport if you want passes, right? That's not how Formula One works. So I'm not sure how this is. It's not like reverse grids. Reverse grids are dangerous, and I don't think we should have reverse grids, but I could see why there's an appeal to reverse grid.
I totally can too.
The appeal of why we're having sprint races. You're just having.
I kind of feel like maybe. I don't know. There's a part of me that kind of thinks the sprint race is being done to get everybody off of the whole reverse grid concept. Because I think there's some pretty embedded. I know Martin Brundle is a big fan of a reverse grid race. So, he's a Sky commentator. So I would imagine there is some interest within the paddock in some of the teams to do a reverse grid. But
until there's a giant accident because Latifi missed when the restart is and everybody ran into him, right? Like, right. It's not a great idea, right?
Right. But Formula One doesn't want to do it. So you've got people calling for a reverse grid. You started to get this groundswell of fan, calling for reverse grids in social media. And so they got to put that to bed quickly. So what do? Well, we'll do sprint races. How about that?
Because people are going to forget.
Yeah. Right. Well, if the sprint races actually turn out to be a damn squib, then I think everybody's going to go back to do reverse grid.
Which I think I don't see how this is like. I understand that you're putting racing on all 3 days, like legit racing, not practice, and especially because I'm sure with COVID there isn't a lot of support races, right? Because if you go to an actual race, the track opens at like 8, and from like 8 to 5, there's racing all day, right? And so you spend all day at the track, but I'm sure that's not what's happening, even if there were fans there. So as they start bringing fans back, what are they watching, right? Because you would just be going for like an hour and a half for a Formula One race. So I get that this is a way to spread out your weekend and get more people watching your sport more often. But other than that, I don't know how it's not going to be a damn squid. I just think Saturday is just going to be.
I don't know. Well, with all the best will in the world, I wish them the best. And I hope maybe I'm wrong. And I find it absolutely wonderful. I don't know. Maybe I will. But on paper, I don't know. Jury's out. Let me throw another curveball at you. If I was Christian Horner, I would
No.
absolutely vote against this.
Nope.
Vote against it, absolutely. And here's why. Because for the first time in 9 years, I have a chance to beat Mercedes.
Yeah.
And now they want to try all new things. And let's just throw darts at the board. Let's screw it all up. Let's make you run your engines more and your cars more and your chassis more. And you have to do a sprint race to in order that sets. And for the first time, if I would say sprint race corrected, they have a chance of beating Mercedes, and they want to just juggle around and try new things in the season that he has a legit reason. If I was Christian Horner, I would have voted no. I would have said you can take that crappy idea back to France because at the FIA headquarters, because I am not interested.
You can put it in the closet with the sprinklers and the gold medals.
And the gold medals, exactly, and the shortcuts.
That's right. Like it's Candyland.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh, shoots and ladders. So
Gumdrop path, yay.
Gumdrop path.
Wasn't it Gumdrop Lane or something? I don't know.
Something
anyway.
like that.
It's been a while since I played me some Candyland.
Yeah, been a little while. Yeah. So that's my personal feeling on it. If I was
agree.
Christian, I absolutely would have been adamantly against this.
Yeah, I think
I want a straightforward, no frills, no surprise season because right now, as things stand, I got a pretty good chance of beating Mercedes, or at least I feel like I do. Throwing these random sprint races at me and untried sort of things is not helping my cause, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it does. I mean, Silverstone and Monza are fast tracks. And so maybe that will make, that's part of why it makes a good case for those to be the two tracks.
And Brazil's kind of like the Bristol of Formula One.
Yeah, I think they're just holding off on announcing Brazil because I don't know. I think we're all still waiting for that race to happen. So
true.
There's a lot going on in Brazil right now. So
there's a lot going on.
I think they're going to hold off on making that decision. But it makes sense, right, that those would be the 3 tracks because if it's going to work anywhere, that's where you would expect it to work. But I don't know. I just find it's just weird because other series run sprint races like F2 runs sprint races, don't they? Right. So it's fine when you have 2 short races. It's fine. They do that in Moto 2, right? Like 2 short races, I think. Oh God, somebody's gonna be like, no, they don't race. That's bike. Anyway, but to have the sprint races and a regular race just is what's weird. Usually you have either sprint races or a regular race, not and the reason for the sprint races is sometimes scheduling, right? Like that it gives you more time between the races, right? Because you're a lower level series, right?
Yeah, right.
You don't expect to have those kind of like car malfunctions in Formula One that you need run a half hour break, run a half hour.
Right.
I don't know, it just is it's
a weird deal.
Stretching and again, I don't know. It would be great if it was going to be totally different. It's still it's one more day that Lewis Hamilton gets to win, right? Like,
yeah. I know.
Okay, here we go.
Kind of scratching my head.
What the hell?
How mad can Bottas be twice now on a weekend instead of just once?
Right.
I don't. Right. I think.
Yeah. Sprint races, then Bottas is getting beaten by Lewis twice on a weekend and not once, and that's frustrating.
I just think. Although it does give Vettel 2 opportunities to improve his.
He's gotten beat by Lance twice, so it would give him 2 chances to beat the young guy.
Yeah. Also,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say randomly watched, because now everybody does like the McLaren unboxes, like they force the drivers to like do things together. And I watched one where it was Vettel and Stroll playing basically Taboo. They can't call it Taboo, but that's what it was. Those 2 have no gel together. Like they have. I mean, because Vettel's a funny guy, right? Like, he's it's just like. I
don't know. Lance sometimes comes across, he's got the personality of a carp.
Yeah, it was a very strange unboxed thing they were
I'm
doing
sure that's
together.
just his like media facing persona. I'm sure, in person he's a delightful guy.
I don't know, but I was just like, Vettel's really always kind of like snarky funny.
Yeah,
I always kind of like Vettel. But which is why he plays off of Hamilton, who plays it much more straight. So they're
right.
They should just do all the unboxes with Lewis and Vettel. That's what we really want.
Yeah. And Vettel, he jokes and everything, but it's almost like the British press have the same reaction now. At first, they thought it was delightful that he was an Anglophile and he was all things British comedy. At first, that appealed to him, but later now it's gotten to where they're all just slamming on him for being a has-been. And it's interesting now when he jokes it up and yucks it up with them, they're all kind of like, what? They all act confused. Do you remember when they used to do that with Mika Hakkinen? And Mika would try to joke. If you haven't seen Mika Hakkinen, if you're new to Formula One, go to YouTube and look at Mika Hakkinen funniest moments or whatever. Right. And he would always try. And I love Mika for this. Yeah. Because you have to understand where Mika's coming from. You know, it's not his native language, and he's trying to make a joke in English, which doesn't always translate. But he was trying to be funny and cheeky, and the British press just acted like they were completely clueless as what he was trying to do. Like they would say, "Oh, Mika, it looked like a really hard day or a really easy day out there. You know, win an easy win." And Mika was, "Oh yeah, it is so easy. I can't tell you how easy it was." There's a dead silence. And it was like he was like looking around like, "What? Do you not getting this?"
No, that is a good point. They didn't. That also reminded me there's no podium celebration after the sprint race. So
well, of course not.
But you get 3 points, 2 points, 1 point, right, for the top three. So you do get some points out of it. But no celebration. So winning that sprint race in Mexico isn't going to do you any good. And also that made me think of Kimi Räikkönen. And I did post this on Twitter, but I'm going to share it for those of you who don't enjoy my Twitter feed. That last time we were on, we talked about the Kimi Räikkönen's summation of marriage, right? Mm-hmm. But you keep answering me, right? Like that. I thought that one radio communication really kind of summed up marriage. Well, I thought the one last week in Imola where they're telling him there's an accident, right? Because Bottas and Russell like crashed right in front of me. He's like, I know there's shit in my face. Like, and they just keep telling him there was an accident. He's like, I know, like I got it, right? I know.
I just drove through it.
I know, right? I said that to me summarizes parenting, right? You have the parent that's like been barfed on going, and the other parent's going, I think the baby's sick. Yeah, I know. Shit all over me. I know the baby's sick.
Right. Yeah. Totally get it.
And then the other parent just goes, okay, well, we're with you. Thanks.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Thanks. Here.
But it's just the fact that they go back and forth in both instances, 4 or 5 turns before anybody hears the other person about what's going on. I know.
Yeah.
I just
both sides are talking, but not listening much. So funny.
Oh, so there you go.
All right.
Hey,
a couple of weeks ago, I took a lot of incoming on a headline that I had posted, Allison out as technical director at Mercedes. And I had all kinds of incoming and people saying, oh man, you're an idiot. That's such clickbait. That's BS. You know, he got made CTO and, you know, you're an idiot. That's a promotion. That's not out, blah, 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 blah. And I get emails and people accuse me of clickbait. And I kind of said 2 weeks ago, Grace and I kind of unpacked this a little bit. And I said, you know, I read the quotes. I've been following Formula One for a long time, and you tend to be able to see this PR speak when you see it. And so I read some of those quotes. Well, this week, out of Motorsport is an article about James Allison, and he didn't want to just overstay his welcome and become an old fart at the team. And here's what he had to say. And yes, I am reading this because for all those people that were sending me hate mail and giving me crap on social media about my quote clickbait headline, well, I have these quotes for you. Listen along. Quote, I wanted to make sure that I could be true to this team, to make sure that I committed to being a technical director over a period where I could earn my salt, but not outstay my welcome, and to know when the right time to step away was. I would much rather that was done while I was still useful than becoming an old embarrassment, and that was what was playing in my mind at the time. During the period I was really comfortable and confident to commit to as technical director. We have been collectively working to make sure that the transition from me to Mike would be a success and would give the company all the benefits that would come from the vigor of a new set of hands to change. Then the article says, this is the journalist article says, Allison originally thought that stepping away from the technical director role would mean the end of any links to the Mercedes team. However, team boss Toto Wolff felt it was important that Allison keep close ties to the outfit, which is why he is elected to move him into a new CTO position. Quote, when I felt this was the right thing for me and the best thing for the team to do, to step away, I very much thought that I would be stepping away way to my sofa to cheer the team from the sidelines as a punter. I didn't imagine there would be a space in the team having relinquished this brilliant job. Happily, Toto saw it a little differently, and between us, we worked to save the manner in which I could contribute to the team, but with the absolute backstop that my future role could not in any way undermine the crucial importance of the technical director having a real proper responsibility that the technical director should have for the challenge beneath him. The new role had to be one that was not in the front line, was not a part of the day-to-day, and was not part of the current car or indeed next year's car. He was done, folks. He was done.
Leave.
This is professional paid gardening leave long-term to keep him from going else.
Right.
It wasn't some big ass promotion that they were giving him because he's so freaking brilliant that they had to yank him out of the technical role and give him this CTO position. And you all were banging on me and calling me very hateful things. And I'm telling you, he was done. He was gone. He was leaving, and Toto said, wait a minute, we got to lock him down.
Yeah.
How about a CTO role?
How we put you over here where you're not on the front line, not a part of the day-to-day, not a part of the current car or next year's car.
Exactly.
Perfect. Gardening leave. Done. Do what you got to do, sir, because we're keeping you here for at least another year so that your information is old enough that you can go somewhere else and we don't care anymore.
Right. So I'm sure I'll get emails and social media posts. Hey, sorry about accusing you of clickbait. I won't. So, all right. That's an update. James Allison was leaving. He was done. He was gone.
Yes.
He was out of there. He'd had it. And Toto very craftily came up with a way to have paid gardening leave so he wouldn't spill his guts. We'll get into that.
Sounds nice.
It's great.
Anytime I've left a job, everybody's been like, well, don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Right.
Like, this sounds nice.
Right.
We're going to give you this other job in this corner where you can just like arrange stuff for a year and then
you really don't have to do much. I mean, I don't want you mucking about with the new technical director, and I don't want you dealing with this year's car. I really don't want you worrying about next year's car. Just kind of do some technology stuff, you know?
Whatever.
Okay.
Technology stuff.
Do you want me to work on the Microsoft Exchange server, or, are we good there?
How about I figure out Microsoft Teams, because we're all going to have to use that now, right?
Right. James Allison, the new Microsoft Teams trainer within,
right.
And then he can get busy on that Cisco SQL server.
Exactly.
Or Catalyst server, layer 3 server.
Yes.
Let's go.
That's right.
All right. Well, this big news, folks. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. That's right. A second Grand Prix in America, the Miami Gardens Grand Prix is coming. Are we excited yet? Yeah, not really.
Woo!
The Miami Grand Prix is on. A deal has been struck for 10 years. I will forever call it. And if you listened to our podcast a couple of weeks ago, I was on a big rant about what they were doing to get this thing approved. And so I will be referring to this as the Miami Gardens Grand Prix, because that is where it's being hosted, not Miami. And so the Miami Gardens Grand Prix, and Miami Garden, Miami, same thing as a neighborhood. Yeah, I get it, but it's technically Miami Gardens. And that's what I'm calling it. But here's what they had to say about this new sign. Yeah, well.
Call it what you want.
All right, I will.
Scoot
Miami
Speed,
Gardens.
Junior. It's fine.
Yeah,
Ricky
why not?
Erdo.
Soodle.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah, call it what we want, man. So here is what Formula One had to say about the new Miami Gardens GP. Quote, Motorsport. Quote, we are proud, and this is not me. We are proud as F1 because we are looking ahead. And this is, again, I think, Stefano. We are putting the foundations for an incredible future of F1. And this is a milestone that we all wanted.
Is
Ju-
it?
Just last night, when we shared the information with all the teams, everyone was really, wow, that's the right way to go. This is really where we should be. So this is really the direction we're going to take for a great future for F1, end quote.
What is Dominicali on? I think that's what you need.
He's the same. He may be on the same crap I am.
I'm just saying.
Except it makes him delusional. It just makes me grumpy.
Well, he could be grumpy, right? You're reading the story. Who knows
Well,
what Tony actually provided, right? But
right.
I just think, like, what is this world you live in, man?
Maybe I was reading that in a happy voice. Maybe Stefano really was like, we're proud, and it's not just me. We're proud for F1, damn it, because we're looking ahead.
I just think, like, he walked in the room and everybody's just like,
yay, and there was much celebration.
what? Who was excited by this? Oh, don't get me wrong. People might be excited to go to Miami.
Oh, yeah.
On that I understand.
Sure.
But to have a concrete parking lot around a crappy football stadium with a crappy football team, that's definitely what people want.
Well, here's the thing, and I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Is this the race to really help F1 find success in the U.S.? No. A race around a parking lot? I mean, don't get me wrong. I absolutely hope it is. And maybe I'm worrying for no reason, because Stefano says, hey, no worries, man. Here's what he had to say, quote, it's great. It's not a compromise. As always, when you look for a different solution, you need to consider all the elements that make everyone happy. There were lots of discussions for a different layout. I'm sure that the track you're going to see around the Miami Hard Rock Cafe and Miami Gardens will be fantastic. We have built up something that will be spectacular.
Have you?
I don't know. I've seen the drawings, and somebody had like a virtual lap on there, and it was like, ooh.
Yeah, it's just going to be not great. Now, I do want to point out now, as I've mentioned, you can't currently get official Yuki Tsunoda merch in the United States. However, you can get this lovely Miami GP already. And this is a Formula One store. This isn't like, the truck outside the, the speedway selling their gear.
Right.
This is the Formula One store. So you can get a Miami GP shirt. I can't get Yuki Tsunoda gear, but you can get this. I don't know. I mean, it's a limited edition. Oh, how much is it?
Limited edition, $39.99.
No, I don't.
$49.99. But wait, there's more.
$35.
I was close. I said $39.99. I was close.
$35. Look at that.
$35.
You too could have your very own.
Oh yeah, Grace,
Miami,
you could put that on,
t-shirt.
roll into Miami. Oh yeah,
I just was like, oh my God, they're all in. They're all in. It's going to be concrete and jersey barriers. Why does somebody want this? Why do they want this?
I don't know, man. We've already had the Valencia Grand Prix with all the jersey barriers, and that didn't really pan out well. So
and a bridge that they never used as they should have.
Yeah, they should have actually used the bridge. Like, two cars go over it and then it turns and you go somewhere else,
Exactly.
Like, whoa, it was like Harry Potter's Hogwarts.
That's like, I will say more than once I've had friends go, because Japan goes, crosses, but it's not like a figure eight, right? It's a bridge,
over
right?
Under,
right? But if you look at it on a map, it's like, so I've had several friends go, whoa, does it cross? No, there's a bridge. They're like, oh, we were so close almost watching your sport with you. So close, right? Like, we're not interested anymore. We thought you actually had that opportunity. So in Valencia, if they would have used the bridge, it might have been worth watching.
Yeah, it might have been.
Never did, so it wasn't really worth it.
I don't know. It's a parking lot. It's not like you can go dig everything up and make a bunch of elevation change and all that.
I think that people are it's gonna be like, I was making fun of Mick Schumacher because he was like, oh yeah, Mazepan, I've known him for a long time. Okay, so then we're gonna go eat some orange slices, right? Like that was all the more he had about to say about his teammate. That's how this is gonna be. People are gonna be like, oh my God, the weather's great, went to the beach, we had all these things. What about the race? Yada 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 yada. Let's I already mentioned the good parts, right? Like that's not why people want to go to Miami. They're not going to Miami to see concrete jungle.
No, I wouldn't think so.
But
Well,
everything
hey,
else about it is
fingers
great.
crossed. Yeah, Miami's toddling town, and let's
good
see
time.
how it goes. All right. What's my final story? Oh, yes, Red Bull. Hey, you guys will recall that Red Bull Racing will have to produce their own power units from 2022 onward, right?
Yeah.
Everyone remembers that. Honda's bowing out. They're going to have to continue. However, brilliantly, Red Bull got Formula One to freeze the engines so they would produce the existing engines, but they wouldn't have to develop it further, which is good if it's frozen. So this makes it affordable for Red Bull to do. Right. Now, we discussed at the time, Grace and I, the need for an engine program, and we were wondering just how seriously is Red Bull going to take this? Now we know we're going to have to do our own engines. So we're going to have to build an engine department. And are they going to do that? Right.
Do you know how to do engines? What about you? Engines? No.
It's like, Adrian, you do engines? No, I just do chassis, man.
Engines.
So exactly. So we were wondering how serious they would be. Well, now we know.
All right.
This just in, Red Bull has poached one of Mercedes' senior power unit engineers, Ben Hodgkinson, to head up its new Red Bull powertrains division. Ooh, gut shot.
Yep.
Because they already lost Simon.
Right.
Right. And he was the head, and now this guy got poached. Zing.
Well, especially because I like to envision that Honda just left like crates.
Right.
Here you go, like IKEA furniture, right? Like,
right.
Here it is. Here's some Allen wrenches. We out. We going back to Japan, right? Like that's so. I feel like that. There's Christian Horner just going, what engines? Okay, I did some die casts. I can figure this out. And then they had to find somebody that could do it. So they just had crates of stuff.
It's kind of like reminds me of the MST3K movie, the Rossinator?
Yes.
And they had the crates of equipment, and Cal and the other guy were putting that together. Watchmen build things and adjusting them, So, I'm sorry, I'm betraying myself. I'm letting you know that everyone that I'm a huge MST3K fan.
Everybody should be. I don't know.
Everyone should be. Manos, the hands of fate.
That's
Torgo. Oh my gosh.
That's great.
So there we have it. So anyway, here's the quote. Red Bull, quote, "We're delighted to welcome Ben to Red Bull Powertrains as technical director." That's what Christian said. "He comes to this hugely exciting project as a proven race winner and as an innovator capable of leading a like-minded team of highly skilled engineers. When Red Bull announced the creation of Red Bull Powertrains, it was also announcing a new phase of the company's ambition in Formula One to bring every aspect of the car design in-house and to put our destiny in our own hands.
And help us clean out this garage full of random parts that Honda left us."
Right. The ultimate expression of that is the development of the Red Bull power unit to meet the next generation of Formula One engine regulations. Ben's appointment signals our long-term intent, and we'll support him and his team with every available resource required in order to succeed. I'm going to say this right now. Christian Horner did not write any of this.
I was just going to say, this is some amazing BS, even for
that's good.
Very
that's good.
What could have been a sentence, right? Like,
yeah, that's Ron Dennis good.
We stole a guy, neener, right? Like,
yeah. I would expect a Chris said, "Yeah, we poached him. Screw you, Toto."
Yeah, shots fired.
Yeah, that is a really, really long press release to say that you're excited that you just screwed Merck out of their engine.
That's right.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Good luck.
Fair enough. That's a big deal, though. They do need. I mean, if you're going to create this engine program, and Honda's all checked out, I'm assuming there's a couple of Honda engineers that could poach as well.
Right.
But you got to have somebody come in there and take control that understands engine and power units and the dynamics behind that, to ensure that just reliability and everything that goes forward. So that's a big deal. And to poach, a senior person at Mercedes, that hurts. So you had Simon leave, then you got James Allison leaving. You had one of your head engine guys leave.
Yep.
It's the unraveling. It happens to the best of them. And I'm looking at you, Ferrari 2005.
Hey, come on, man. They finished 4th and 5th.
There
Things
you
are
go.
looking re-raveled again for them for a week.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it could be raveling back up.
I don't know. It's only been 2 races, but Lando got a P3. I can't believe it. We made it almost to the end of the show, and I didn't even mention that McLaren made it on the podium.
Yeah.
3rd and 6th. Look at that, kids. They're pretty
That's
good.
great. Hey, but this speaks to the thing that you like to talk about that goes all the way back to when McLaren stole the Ferrari documents, which is great. And if you're new to F1, this was what Flavio Briatore used to say. What did he say,
It was
Grace?
classic. So right, there's all this discussion about, Spygate and I mean, it was a big drama, right? This big thing happened, and Flavio Briatore, in like classic Flavio Briatore style, just goes, I don't know why they didn't just do like the rest of us do and steal somebody else's engineer, right?
Right.
That's a lot easier than all of this stuff you guys try to do with documents.
Right.
So,
Why still a technical manual? You just hire one of their engineers.
yeah, right. So that's what Red Bull did, right?
Right.
Why bother?
Yeah. So that's what they did.
We got all these IKEA parts to put together, and
Right.
we need some help figuring that out.
Right. To work out well.
That's right.
Oh boy. All right. Hey, it's time. Yep, it's time for this week's fun/random fact. The slashies are here.
All
It's a
right.
little bit of a quiz. I'm going to do a little bit of a quiz, and I'm going to pause just long enough for you to think about it and shout out the answer to the loved one that you're by. But I'm not going to give you enough time to go Google it. This week's fun and random fact is, and this doesn't go too far back, so I didn't want to go back and say, well, in 1916, the French Grand Prix had 3 laps on road courses.
Albon's
no.
cats. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Alfa Romeo. I don't know. All right. In 2005, the rules stated that teams were not allowed to do what during a Grand Prix? Now just think about that for a moment. Just think, what could it be?
I feel like I only have sarcastic answers, like they weren't allowed to have their teammate crash out so that you could win the race.
That's close, Grace. Yeah, that was 2008.
Oh, see, I wasn't that
You're
far
so
off.
close. So close. All right, here's the answer, folks. The rules of 2005 stated that the teams were not allowed to change the tires during a Grand Prix, no matter how worn those tires became. They only allowed it if they had to switch tire types, like dry to intermediate to wet. Otherwise, put on a set of tires, that's it. Could not change them. Alonso really fell victim to this at Monaco when his tires were so worn that he had virtually no grip left in them. And I do remember that race because they were so worn out. People were thinking, wait a minute, isn't this kind of dangerous not allowing them to change tires? Yeah.
Especially Monaco. See, I knew Alonso was involved. I just had the wrong incident.
Always.
Yeah.
It was like the technical man. Remember, he was there talking about the gas that they were putting in their tires.
That's right. Trouble just seems to find him.
Just seems to follow him around.
Young driver Fernando Alonso.
Yes.
I don't know. He just always seems to be involved.
Always involved. Yes. Agreed.
I don't know.
Oh boy. Well, that's all the notes I could cut and paste. Apologies.
All right.
For that. I will look if there's any late breaking stories that we do want to address real quick before we bail out, because you never know. There's breaking news in the world of motorsport all around. I did like AlphaTauri's, if I could find that real quick. I did.
Sure.
I did like Mario Andretti saying America would go crazy over Herta in F1. And I did like Davide Brivio's comment that team radio is the biggest difference between F1 and MotoGP. Yeah, and I agree with that.
That's a big difference.
This is it. Yuki Tsunoda's Imola Q1 crash is, quote, part of the rookie journey.
Oh.
And I thought, you hear us talk about the customer journey, you hear which is important stuff. But I didn't know there was a rookie journey.
Well, I also learned recently that Yuki Tsunoda swears a lot. So now I'm even
Yes.
more in on the Yuki Tsunoda train. Like this was,
Yeah, well, who wouldn't be?
I mean, guy, you know, I'm
That
all in.
guy.
Although I do feel like I totally cursed him at Imola. That was totally like, because, you know, at Bahrain, I was sort of like, you know, right? Vettel,
Yeah.
not everybody can be Yuki Tsunoda. And then race 2 didn't work out so well.
Yeah,
So,
well, you know, it is a rookie journey. He's young.
yeah,
you
that's
know.
right. That's right.
He'll get
He's
his
like
sea
12.
legs and then he'll be there.
That's right. Cussing all the way. That's my
Cussing
kind
all
of
the way.
driver.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
it. You know?
Screw you, Pierre Gasly. Yeah.
Get out of my way.
Out of my way, flipping him off.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah, I like it.
I am
So,
all in. That's
right.
great. It only made me more of a fan.
All right. Well, I'm off to take more pain meds. Sorry, I'm grumpy tonight, folks. You know, you have to kind of bear with me here. What can I say? Anyway, all right. Hey, in the meantime, stop by the website. And I know this past week I haven't given you any reason to do so because I can't type. And so anyway, but I hopefully I will be able to type this week and post some stuff. But stop by, share your opinion on this podcast. Let us know what you think. And just do it with decorum and civility. If you like the podcast, go to iTunes, give us a good rating, give us a little love over there. It would be much appreciated. Hey, folks. This podcast, there's only one reason it exists, all 729 episodes, well over 800 with downshift episodes. It only exists because we have Patreon supporters. It would not exist if we didn't have Patreon supporters. And if you like the podcast, if you've ever considered about supporting us, you can go to our website, theparcfermé.com. Over on the right-hand side, there's a link to our Patreon account. You can support us over there for as little as $1 a month, $12 for a year. I don't know what that converts to in pounds, 50 cents. I don't know what that is. And so you can do that over there. It would be very appreciative. If you really couldn't give a damn and don't want to do that, that's okay. But find a Patreon supporter and pat them on the back because it's because of them this exists. We will be back next week. What's the next race?
Portugal. Well, I was just looking because my calendar said it was still TBD. So I was like, well, I don't know if there's a race next weekend.
I did see something mentioned in the wait a minute, this is on the fly, folks. I didn't plan this, Portugal. But I did read just today that the F1 set to sign off sprint races plan before Portugal. That's this weekend, and it looks like it is a go. Yes.
Okay. Well, because I was very confused by their graphic because, you know, I was trying to figure. Oh, sorry.
Oh, glare.
Terrible, right?
There it is, Portugal.
Right. So, but it says 0230. And so in America, right, we put month, day, year. And in Europe, right, they put day, month, year. And so I was what month is 30? What's 3002? Because the words are underneath it. It's not a numerical date.
Right.
I was very confused. They're like, what?
I know. I work for a European company and all of their dates come over and they're always backwards to me, you know, and I'm like, wait a minute, month 14, what? There's no 14 months. Plus,
that means I don't know why I only recently realized this, but I don't have a Pi Day in Europe because of that. We have a Pi Day, but because they do it day, month, year.
Which, if I'm right, Grace, and I was terrible at math, isn't that 3.14?
Yes, but they don't have that because they have 14.3. They don't have 3.14. There is no 14.3. But the whole idea is that. And it was really because David Emmett posted that. He's like, well, what the hell's Pi Day? We don't have that. Like, oh, right, because you don't have 3.12 day.
Yeah.
Your thing. So anyway, long story short, I'm going to blame their graphics. I also did hear that they're going to do some more new graphics for the Formula One races. So I look forward to being mad about that, too. So I reserve.
Oh, yeah. This will be an all new reason for us to be pissed off.
Terrible. If I have to like pause the race and like sit there and figure out what are you trying to show me with this graphic, that defeats the purpose of the graphic. I already have to deal with Crofty telling me things. I'm like, I don't think that's right.
I don't know. At this point, I just feel like Amazon Web Services is being jammed so far up my backside I can taste them at this point. You know,
and it's not a good thing.
Like, come on, man.
Tastes a little metallic-y. I'm not enjoying it.
Yeah. So, I don't need that much Bezos in my life.
No, right. So, to be determined. It has been determined. And it'll be Portugal.
It is determined the Portuguese Grand, which is good. I like that track.
Yeah,
I'm looking
I
forward
also
to
want to put it because it's sponsored by Heineken. So I also want to put this in there too. You know how Vettel complained about how all the trophies used to look the same because they were all sponsored by Heineken, so they all had the same look to them. I think if Vettel does win a race this season, it has to be a race sponsored by Heineken.
Absolutely. So he gets the same damn trophy.
Right. Just like how we always make fun of the fact that Kimi only wins at tracks where there's no real champagne. I feel like this should also be what happens to Vettel. He should only win at tracks where it's the Heineken sponsorship.
And then we'll get to see those signs that always sounds like Yoda. In America, we'd say drunk driving.
Oh, yes.
And over there, it says don't drink drive.
Yes, don't drink drive.
Don't drink drive.
Yes.
Which in American, it doesn't really translate. You know, we'd say don't drive drunk.
Right.
Or
no
don't drink
driving.
or don't drive while you're drinking or don't drink while you're driving. That's how we would say it.
Right.
But over there, it's just don't drink drive. Right.
Yeah. I don't know. When we were in Montreal a couple of years ago, that commercial is all that plays in between the races. The one is Jackie Stewart. I literally sitting in the stands at one point went, I am now going to go drink drive because of these commercials. Like they pushed me to drink driving, and several people laughed. But I was like, well, I'm glad that somebody was amused by how much I hate this commercial because you can hear it everywhere. Because it's playing on the speakers that are loud enough that you can hear it over the cars. So
you just sit there and you hear.
This looks like a bit of a hairy monster.
It's a great car.
Aerodynamics come in at any speed. Positive directional stability.
All in all, the car is very good on the road.
Ford, I think, have done such a good job on the tempo.
Huh? How about I haven't done my Jackie Stewart montage in a while.
That's true. That's because he seems to have fallen out of favor as the rent-a-cook.
I hope he's feeling well and stuff. I mean, he's up there in age. I hope he's doing all right. But I haven't seen him as I would say as press forward as we used to.
That's right. But that was like 10 years ago, man.
It was. You know. Yeah. I got a good picture of him when I was down in the paddock in Austin. With Sir Jackie. Chatted just briefly at that party I went to that I was telling you about. That Franz Toast came in, did a couple orbits of the room, sat by himself. No one would talk to him, engage him, got up and left.
Yeah.
That was at that. And Jackie was there, chatted with him a little bit. That was good.
There you go.
He's a good guy. He liked me because I was Scottish heritage. You know, he thought that was good.
Yeah. Well,
so, there you go.
You can't really complain then, right?
No, sure. All right. Hey, all right, folks. We'll be back next week to do this all over again and review a race. Until that time, this is Todd, a.k.a. Negative Camper, saying so long, Grace.
See you in 2 weeks.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.